what was the first day just recognizing the elements and starting this thing?
I think the most exciting thing is obviously being back out on the field with these guys. You get to see them reap the results of their hard work during summer. Obviously, if you look at the way that their bodies have changed, body fat percentages, strength numbers, these guys have put in a lot of hard work, and credit a lot to Kenny Parker and his strength staff. But getting out here and to be on the field with these guys and doing football things and not just covering academics has been probably the most exciting thing, definitely the most emotional thing, so to speak.
Drew, what have you seen? Chris said that Laviano's a different guy a little bit spring to summer workouts. What can you tell us? What examples have you seen that says he's maybe matured a little bit?
Great question. For that young man, he's had a lot of turmoil and well documented things that go on in his life. One of the things that we talked about with him, not just from this past spring semester, but throughout the summer, is consistency has to be established in your life, and he did that. And this summer was a tribute to an individual trying to change his life and do things the right way. And a credit to him, he made our Champions Club and was one of our Iron Knights, which is not given out freely. It's Kenny Parker and his staff give it to the guys that exemplify all of the characteristics that they want in the weight room. And so credit to him for all of that.
What were your first impressions of Zach Allen when you met him, when you visited, and then what have you thought as you get to know him?
Zach Allen is a very likable kid, an intelligent football player. He is a very, very hard worker. He kind of exemplifies the characteristics that you're looking for in the intangibles. For a quarterback, he's got the leadership qualities, he's got the work ethic, he's got intelligence. So I'm looking to see all of that translate into production and execution on the football field.
What are some of those? What are some of those changes Chris made that you saw seem to help him?
I think just for him, it was just a matter of choosing what you want down the road versus what feels good temporarily. And he chose development. He chose committing himself to the weight room. He chose committing himself to the film room and then to his academics versus maybe going out and having some fun with some people. And you can see it in the way that he's changed his body. You can see it in the way that he has improved his leadership quality and the way that his team thinks about him. That was one of the common themes that we talked about last night as a team.
Sure. What can we expect from Zach? So you mentioned production and execution. He hasn't played quarterback really in 3 years, other than a handful of practices, 13. How much rust, and can he really be ready in 4 weeks?
Definitely, he can be ready in 4 weeks. Especially for somebody like that does embody those type of characteristics. He's one of the guys that you tell him he can't do it, and he'll get himself in a position to be able to succeed. So I don't know yet exactly what we're going to find entirely out of the body of work that Zach Allen's going to produce, but it's been encouraging so far.
Coach, what have you seen out of Tylen so far?
Tylen's a big, tall, great-looking kid. He showed some athletic ability today. He's still a young pup, though, still learning the ropes. First college practice was an interesting one for him, but did some really nice things. Don't know yet, though. It's still a long way to go.
Drew, is your preference to find a dual threat quarterback, or is it the best quarterback to win, and you'll tailor the offense to his skill set?
If you've seen Tom Brady walking around, we'll take him. Yeah, we're looking for the best guy that we can find, and I think we said from the beginning a guy that is competitive, that's got leadership and intelligence. If he has those three things, then we can figure out all the X's and O's. That part's easy.
How open are you to playing two, whether it be situational or by the quarter or the drive or however it works out?
I think optimally we're looking for one guy. I think that the team responds to the leadership of one guy a lot easier than they do two. If two quarterbacks gives us the best chance to win, then we'll do whatever it takes. We'll see.
What do you see with Laviano's mobility? Are you surprised by it, or knows the kid?
Laviano, he can do some things with his feet. I'm not, all those guys, Gio included, Zach Allen included, Hayden, ran a couple in the spring game if y'all remember. But I think everybody's got their own a little bit skill set. Laviano has a little bit more of a dual threat feel to him than some of the other guys maybe. But for him, it's going to come down to for all those guys execution, and regardless of running or passing or anything like that.
Does not knowing the quarterback situation slow down what you're able to implement in your offense and when?
Absolutely not. We were very upfront with everybody about that. We were upfront with the offense. We talked about it as a whole offense. We talked about it in the quarterback room. This is the way that these things are going to go. The guy that executes his job responsibility the best is going to be the guy that's going to lead our football team.
What are the growing pains you expect that first weekend? Because, I mean, it is still a mostly new offense for most of these kids.
Yeah.
When you're installing a spread offense from a team that knew pro style, what are the growing pains?
The first thing that always is an issue is making sure that they understand what you're trying to get out of tempo. If you're playing the game fast, how are your offensive line going to respond? Can the processing happen at a much faster rate, and plus the conditioning? But you look at what Kenny Parker has done with these guys over the summer, and they're in phenomenal shape. So that's probably the biggest one for us.
Janari and Grant, you've obviously played them a lot of different ways during the spring. Is that still the plan to kind of utilize everything that he has?
He's got a tremendous skill set, evident in what he did in special teams this past couple of years. So, finding a way to get that guy the ball in space, the same way that he gets it in special teams areas and returns, would definitely be the way that I think that we're going to try and utilize him the most. But yes.
One of the spots where this team has a lot of depth and some proven guys is running back. Can you do some things with running backs that maybe more than one guy has a chance to be on the field at the same time?
Yeah, that's, we've talked about what if they're going to be our best 11, and if injuries happen or something like that, what's going to be our backup plan. Given that there's 4 or 5 guys in there that, at least 4 now, have playing experience. If we had to put 2 of them out there at the same time, could we do it? And I think our running back coach is all about that. So.
With Hayden, what is he? Obviously, he was kind of the second option here last year, and the second option here in the spring. The closest threat to Chris. What does he have to do to get back on that one line, so to speak, this training camp?
I think he's right there, and he's been there. What he's got to do is we go back to what everybody's got to do. He's got to execute his job responsibility, and some of the things that he did well are very encouraging, and some of the things that he didn't do well were not. And that's with everybody. Laviano made some of the same types of same bonehead, but growing pain type mistakes. So. Whichever one of those 2 guys plus the other 2 can figure out that combination, and what we talked about is being calm and consistent with these guys. Execute your job responsibility at a high level. Nobody's asking you to go out and be Cam Newton. We're asking you to manage the offense appropriately. If he can do that, if Chris can do that, Gio or Zach, great. If not, then we'll reassess, and that's probably been a coaching staff error.
Are you comfortable with your depth at wide receiver?
I think so. I think that we'd all, any coach in the country would be like, yeah, we'd like to have more. We'd love to have 13, 5-star kids walking around that are 6'6", looking like Calvin Johnson. But I think we've got some older guys in there that have done a good job, and we got to bring some of these young guys along to provide a legitimate depth for that room.
Do you look at a number of plays? I think with spread offense, a lot of times it's how many plays can they get? Do you have a target number in head? Do you look at that?
I've never. Coming from, so when I learned spread offense, I learned it from a guy that adapted from the I formation and 2-back football. So the number of plays executed in a game was never a conversation. And to be honest with you, especially in a league like the one that we play in, if you're trying to target number of plays, you're probably not playing the game from a team perspective, and you're probably not going to give your team and offense the best chance to execute properly. So.
Take 2 more questions. No more questions.
The pace of the offense, is that something that is going to be fluid throughout? It still needs to kind of be installed and throughout the entire training camp?
We install definitely several different tempos, and those will all be in through this first week. And that's a conversation between me and Coach Ash. What is best for the team right now? If the defense gets off the field after a 16-play drive and we go 3 and out again, and do it in 18 seconds, that's obviously Coach Ash is not going to be real pumped about that. So we're trying to manage the game and get ourselves, the offense, but as well as the team, the best chance to win, and tempo and how we can affect that on offense is a big conversation.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you, Coach.
Appreciate you.